Hey everybody, Chris Mayhew with Simple Tech, bringing you simple tech tips for Mac OS, iPhone OS, iPad OS, and Watch OS. Hey, in this one, this is part of our 5-minute video series called 5-Minute Rides. Something I learned in my time in Apple, they called it 2-minute rides, so I'm kind of stealing their thunder here. But in this particular one, we are going to talk about the Apple menu. The Apple menu is located in the top left-hand corner of your screen. And from there, you can click there to access a full range of different items that are in that list. And in this video, we're just going to quickly explore it. Should be less than 5 minutes. Get you on your way, give you a little basics and understanding of what the Apple menu is and what you can find in there. So hang with us and take a look. Thanks. All right, so if you didn't watch our previous video on the menu bar across the top, I do recommend going back and checking that out. It's down in the show notes. You could just quickly link that. It kind of gives a high-level overview of everything across the top of that bar, from the Apple logo over to the date and time, like I said. But in this particular case, we're just going to do a quick thing on the Apple menu itself in just a 5-minute ride, so this should take less than 5 minutes. So if I come on over where in my top left-hand corner, you can see this Apple logo. Well, that specifically is the Apple menu. Now, in the Apple menu, you can view information about your machine, such as the OS version, the type of processor or chip. In some cases, you might have software that you've bought that has minimum system requirements. Well, do you know what yours is? And if not, this is where you can find kind of some of that information. So for instance, if I do about this Mac, it's going to open my system settings. So you can see here in this particular case, I'm recording this on a newer Mac Mini with the M2 chip. My memory is 8 gigabytes. I'm running macOS Ventura, so on and so forth. Now, if I click more info, that's going to take me to a more detailed screen where I can find some more information about my system, so the type of display I have it plugged into, all that kind of good stuff. Even AppleCare Plus, so you can see it expires in January 22nd, 2026. So I buy AppleCare Plus with my devices. I recommend that for everybody. So it gives you some good basic information about your system when you do go into the Apple menu to see information about this Mac. Now, some other things that we have in there is your system settings. So your system settings here is just simply the configuration of your machine as a whole. Now, we'll have more videos kind of digging into that specifically, but that's where it's going to open up your system settings. If you're a longtime Mac user, it's just your system preferences is really what it is. And so now we're in that here where we can customize. The next one down is the App Store. So the App Store is where if you have an iPhone or an iPad, you know how to get apps from the App Store, right? You've done it all the time. Same concept on a Mac. If you have a newer M1, M2 Mac, you could also get iPhone, iPad, OS applications on your Mac as well, if the developer has allowed you to do so. Now, these two with system settings in the App Store, if there's updates, you will see a red one, or a circle with a 1 in it, a red circle, letting you know that updates are available. Sometimes on the system settings side, you might get one of those little bubble notifications for things with iCloud as well, like maybe new terms and services you have to agree to or something like that, because syncing could potentially stop if you don't re-authenticate. The next one down is your recent items. So as you use your apps, your files, network computers, like connecting to a server, all those things are added into this list. So you can see I have my applications up at the top. I have some documents, the last things that I have access, so invoices, time cards for my employees, so on and so forth. And the very bottom, clear it. I could just clear that menu and just kind of get rid of it. It is helpful though, if you go into the same file over and over again. I find myself using that feature, at least with the files themselves. And so it's really, really easy to be able to access. The next one down is force quit. So hopefully you don't have to use this too often, but if you're from a PC and this is your first time on the Mac, it's the same idea of opening your task manager. So Control-Alt-Delete. If I say that and you got the chills, I'm sorry, it still happens on a Mac sometimes too. We call it force quit. So when you click on that force quit box, it will bring open, your list of things that you currently have on that are running. If one of them is frozen, it will say not responding in red in parentheses. You simply click on it, click on force quit, and boom, it'll quit the application. Shortly after, you'll probably get a box that pops up saying, do you want to report this? I always report the issues because it sends the logs to Apple, and hopefully we can figure out, is it an Apple issue or is it an application issue? Hopefully somebody fixes it, right? So then from there, the pretty basic stuff, put your computer to sleep. I'm not going to click on these, obviously. So your computer will instantly go to sleep. If it requires a password when it wakes up, you're going to need to put in that password and you're back up again. Restart, shut down, lock screen. All that really does, it's very similar to putting your computer to sleep, except that it doesn't go to sleep. It just takes you back to the screen where you enter your password to log in. And then log out. So if you have multiple users on a machine, people jump on and off of a computer, you probably want to log out when you're done using it. You could use the lock screen to do that as well. Next time somebody goes to use your machine, essentially if there's multiple users, you'll see the one that was just recently logged in, but underneath that you could click on switch users and then you could log in to another user. But these two are used more often when you have multiple users that are running on a machine. So that is the Apple menu in a nutshell. Some very basic information in there, but at the same time, you kind of got to know what it is and why it's there. So hopefully you got a little bit out of that. Like I said, little 5-minute ride, nothing too crazy, just to hopefully give you some education on your new Mac and get you on your way. So thanks everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe because it really helps us know if we're doing a good job for you because you are our community and I appreciate it. And until next time, have a good one.